Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another daily race for a Link to the Past randomizer. We have an open boot seed tonight where we start as if Zelda has been rescued, but we also have those boots. I'm Sorcerer Finch. I'm joined in the booth with Marklar. How are you doing today?
No, great. Glad to be here. Thank you, Finch.
All right, and we're going to be started in the next couple seconds. We have Jinxie Girl as well. Jinxie is tracking for us, pressing the buttons, keeping us honest. And we have Ravis and Worldwide Wimpy on tonight's restream as well. We have, I think at last count, 33 racers for this particular seed. So this is a pretty busy race. What are you kind of looking for, Marklar, to start out with? Will our racers start at Link's house or somewhere else?
I'm personally a fan of Link's house. I like having as many opportunities to get bombs as possible before, heading to like Kakariko. But with boots, you have a little bit more guarantee. You have like those bonk rocks right outside the fortune teller's hut. So, there's a little bit more variety, I suppose, in what you can do. But we'll probably see the same general things right at the beginning.
That's a good point, and it should be a very exciting seed as well.
Yeah, I think Ravis actually very recently won one of these dailies. If I'm not mistaken, they had a blistering fast time of like an hour and 10 minutes or something. So I wonder if I'm sure they're trying to go back to back here.
Yeah. All right, and it looks like we will be started relatively momentarily. In the meantime, please give the Speed Gaming channels a follow, and please also give the racers a follow as well.
These are, in fact, real boots that they're starting with, right?
Yep. Now we might find the other shoe somewhere in the world. The boots will still be shuffled in. It's just they won't really do anything for us.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to break the habit. Every time I see the boots, like I always get them, no matter what.
Oh yeah, and especially when they pull up in like in GT, for example, or just somewhere kind of funny, I suppose.
Yeah, I always have like that second of shame where I'm like, I already have these. All right, and they're getting going.
All right, and we have immediate divergence. Piece of heart in Link's house and 10 arrows in Sanctuary, so not an overwhelming start. But I saw a pendant in Eastern and
yeah, red crystal for desert. So
yeah, and then Hera was a regular crystal. So that's two crystals in the light world, and there's some bombs. Yeah, Worldwide Wimpy's farming some bombs on the way up to Kakariko Village.
Yeah, that's an interesting route to go this way first. I think most people, when they start Link House, opt to go straight to Uncle. But if you can work it into like where you can maybe do Hyrule Castle at the same time, you save a little bit of time that way.
That's a good point. And you do start out with a bomb here, so there's a decent chance that you might be able to find some bombs just elsewhere. And there's the hammer.
Oh, okay. That's a nice early item to find there.
Yep, there's our weapon, and what do you know? It happens to be a pretty good weapon. Does tempered sword damage. As Ravis checks what is on Lumberjack Ledge for us.
Is this going to be... I could not see it, unfortunately.
Yep, it has a shadow, whatever it is.
So we will have to be in suspense for that a little longer. But yeah, the only bad thing about Wimpy's route is you are putting yourself at mercy of getting one of those bomb drops, and sometimes the game really likes to troll you with not... as there's a hook shot.
So the hook shot's nice. Now Worldwide Wimpy is going to this bombable chest to farm up some bombs and other magic accoutrements, and there's Bombos Medallion. So Lost Woods coming up pretty big so far in this early game.
Yeah, so we've got a hammer and a hook shot already, so pretty soon, if they can get mountain access, you're going to have a lot of items open up there pretty quickly.
And one of the other nice things about that hammer is that's one of the pieces of the puzzle towards Dark World access without necessarily needing to go through Aga. Ravis getting a bomb from that bunkable section and checking on the hint person. Oh, to be able to farm up a couple more bombs.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. It's nice having like the more guaranteed bomb drop, in my opinion, but
that's true. There is the risk if you count on like Blind's Hut having a bomb drop, which for 4 checks without a bomb, it's not bad, but it is kind of risky.
Yeah, it always. Oh, there's Pearl already,
and there's a medallion, and there's sword on Ravis's side, and money, and there's the power glove.
All right, so we're gonna have Dark World access already.
We are less than 3 minutes in, and there's the fire rod.
Oh my god. So technically, Wimpy, by the end of this, could just run in and do Mothula if he was feeling really adventurous today. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, but
5-minute Mothula.
Yeah, it's on the table if you're feeling really confident in yourself, I guess.
Right. 4 hearts is going to be that would be a little bit rough, but
yeah, you're better off getting some of your more like tier 0, tier 1 checks out of the way first before taking that dip into Dark World, I think.
And then yeah, there was also the vanilla bug net as well on Stick Kid. Okay, so it was an ether medallion and a bottle as well. So we have 2 medallions. Like after all of this, we have hookshot, power glove, 2 medallions, a bottle, sword, fire rod. This is a pretty stacked early start.
Yeah, it's looking nice. And medallions are good things to get out of the way because they can be one of the trolliest items for sure.
Right, and we already got the fire rod, so or I suppose, either the fire rod or the bombos giving you Ice Palace access along with that Titansmiths, but
okay, so Wimpy is looking like he might make a Dark World dip, which the only bad thing is if he doesn't check what's on the Lost Woods first, he's going to miss it on that hook shot.
Right, and it looks like Worldwide Wimpy is indeed going to the Dark World and will immediately give us Dark World knowledge.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of an unfortunate start, as we have Green Pendant, Skull Woods, Red Pendant, or Red Crystal Thieves Town, and Pendant Mire.
Yep, so everything on the east side of Dark World is crystals, and therefore required.
Oh my gosh, is he actually doing it? Wimpy, I was kidding. Don't do it. This guy's a madman.
And Ravis is about to get the hammer right there.
Yeah, we'll see if Ravis opts to go straight to the Dark World, or if they're going to maybe do like South Shore first. Wimpy getting a little off cycle with the mummy room there.
Yeah, the mummy room, especially 5 hearts. Those the Gibdos will do 2 hearts of damage. Unless you wanted to Death Warp. One thing that's been sort of interesting, and something I haven't seen in too many races, is all of the checks of these kind of ancillary rooms, or to be able to have a safe spot to get wall mastered.
Wait, was there not full magic in that room?
There was not. It was just empty.
I thought that was guaranteed. I did not realize that was that could happen.
And there's the mirror and blue mail in Back of Escape for Ravis.
Okay, so going up the mountain, even though you don't have the lamp yet, is also a very nice play now, because you can make a full clear around the mountain if you want to. Take out Crystal Hera, so it's not a good play, not a bad play, but gonna do South Shore first, it looks like.
Right, and having that blue mail as well just makes, it's still early game, although you do have 6 hearts right now, so it's not as bad as it could be for such a jet seed to also be getting some hearts kind of along the way.
Right, and I don't think Wimpy has found any items yet, or at least nothing of note. So it looks like, I think they're playing the safe route. I think they're just going to check this for items and not worry about fighting Moth right now. They do get a Master Sword, which will help a lot.
Right, and just keep the Gibdo away and There we go. All right, and we're going to get our first look into Mini Moldorm Cave. Nice 5 items.
Yeah, this is always one I like to get done as early as possible, but sometimes I've seen runners that don't end up going here for quite a while. Ooh.
And there's a flute. So we continue along this very early, a lot of stuff kind of early on.
Yeah, so that is now logical mountain access as well. Although, it might not be a bad idea for Ravis to do Dark World first, because if you can find mitts before going up to the mountain, you're going to make that check even more efficient.
Right. And Worldwide Wimpy giving us our first look in the village of Outcasts. Going to check the C-shaped house for a book.
That's a nice book. We have Desert as a crystal, and we have Fire Rod, so we can beat that now.
And then it also lets you check the tablets kind of as you go. It's better to have that early on than late, certainly, if you're on the hunt for like the ice rod.
Yeah, for sure. That could definitely be an advantage for Wimpy's favor if there does end up being something on the tablet. Whenever they take their trip up their mountain, they'll be able to get that item first go round.
And Hype Cave is a red meringue, money, and that's about it. So it's a typical Hype Cave.
Yeah, usual Hype Cave for sure.
Hype in quotation marks.
Just sound old and be like, I remember back in my day when Hype Cave was actually a hype.
Mini Moldorm Cave with that flute, though, definitely was a nice find.
I don't think Wimpy found any items in the front of Thieves Town, or he only found one if they did.
Yeah, it had been bombs
Okay.
in the first check, but bombs.
Yeah, so one item in the front of Thieves Town, so they're going to go back, even though it's a pendant. Or no, it's the red crystal, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh. And a single commemorative arrow in K45. A collector's edition arrow.
Yeah, really surprised that Ravis opted to skip that arrow.
Yeah, I mean, they would have had 11 arrows at that point.
Alright, so they're going to go do Dig Game, and they do... I think they have the mirror, right?
Yes, because Ravis checked K45.
Okay, so this is going to work out pretty nicely for Ravis, as they'll just be able to mirror here, go activate the flute, and then probably go knock out Thieves Town, like with Wimpy.
And the dig game being a bunch of digs for just a couple bombs. And Piece of Heart up in the attic of Blind's hut, or Blind's of Thieves Town.
Yep, finally starting to slow down after that crazy start. So looking at our crystal layout, we know we're going to need the ice rod, so that's always a little scary in these seeds.
Right, we're going to need the ice rod, we're going to need bow, we're going to need... we are going to need the Canis Samaria, flippers. So we're still a good number of items away from go mode, but... You know, for being 11 minutes into the seed, it's not too bad.
Yeah. But for anyone think it was a jet seed, you should always be careful about saying that before you have found Ice Rod.
Right. Of course, we're probably going to find that now in the back of Skull. Well, if it's in the back of Skull Woods, that would be kind of scary because it is a pendant.
And there are those mitts in the back of Blinds.
So there we go. That's more mountain access for Worldwide.
Some nice French vanilla mitts. And yeah, so this is probably exactly what Ravis was hoping for too, so that's going to work out really nicely for them.
And there is a small shield.
And they're opting to put off Skullwoods for now, which I don't blame them. It's always a hard decision for me whether I want to go check the front of Skullwoods or not. It's usually just kind of like a feeling play at the moment.
And it's also, as we know, it wouldn't pay out because it looks like all the items are in the back, and Ravis does get tagged by them.
Well, they would get a Master Sword, It was the Master Sword in like the mummy trap room, I think.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Absolutely right.
All right, Wimpy on the blind fight now, doing a good job so far.
Very nice scripted fight right there.
Yep, very nicely done. First seed goes to Wimpy. Or first crystal.
Right. At the 12-minute, and mind, at the 12-minute, 30-second mark.
Yeah, not bad opening start for sure. Now, I'm guessing they probably are going to want to go do their South Shore pretty soon. It is going to be interesting when they make their way back to check and get their hook shot in Bombos.
Right, and Wimpy hasn't made a South Shore check yet, so doesn't have the flute yet. So that will slow down a little bit. That will slow down a little bit here.
And didn't the book come out of Skullwoods too?
The book was C-shaped house.
Oh, okay.
But same area, so...
Yeah, I was trying to think what would give Wimpy good incentive to make it back to the Lost Woods area. And the fact that they've already done Skullwoods and now all Village of Outcasts is going to make it a little... It's somewhat isolated there now, honestly.
Yeah, but we are getting a hammer pegs check on Wimpy's side.
Yeah, not a bad play. I think when you get mitts this early, Smith Chain very often tends to have something going on with it, or this general area.
Right, and you can loop in a good number of checks kind of on your way to turn Jeremiah in. Does need that mirror, which is sitting in the back of Escape, though, to do a really efficient Smith Chain, though.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate they don't have the mirror. Otherwise, they would be able to make a much more efficient route of this area. But it might also end up being time saved. You never know if it comes up with nothing. So Wimpy's about to get the bad news of their bombs. And I'm guessing we'll see them wrap around towards Height Cave before doing a save and quit.
Yeah, because that would get you a good number of checks. Or they are opting to not save Jeremiah. Might have some plans later on. Does run into that skull right there. Unfortunate.
Yeah. It feels bad without Mirror to do that right now, and especially since you've already cleared out the Kakariko and Village of Outcasts area, like committing to saving Quinn running back over there just seems really slow at this point. Yeah, so I think Ravis is going to most likely have a very clear play going towards the mountain next. It's a little less clear for Wimpy, but I'm assuming they'll probably want to do South Shore after this. There's just so many items down there.
Yeah, and actually, as a reminder, we haven't yet seen Ice Rod Cave as well. So there's a lot kind of still to do. I mean, Ice Rod Cave, it's isolated. Ravis is the only one with the flute right now, which is in Mini Moldorm Cave, which it looks like Wimpy might be heading towards.
Yeah, the flute makes it a little nicer. Just whenever you're starting to run a little low on checks, it's a very quick flute there. And now that you have Zora money too, you can now kind of loop it into a water walk if you need to. Alright, Ravis on their blind fight. Getting off script, it looks like.
A little off script, but variety is the spice of life, and either way, blind goes down.
Yeah, very nice dodging there.
And at 16 minutes 33 seconds, Ravis collects his first crystal. And Wimpy's gonna go towards Desert.
Yeah, and it is a clearable crystal, so I think this is a fine play, honestly.
That's fair, and you get to take out Agina's cave as well, and Ravis picks up that book, so has that option as well. And a little bit easier to get over there as well because of the flute and the mirror.
Yeah, I would say that's the only downside is, again, Ravis is just going to have a slightly more efficient time having like the flute and mirror, where they'll be able to do deserts via the mirror, but also like lump in the Mire shed checks with it.
Right.
And here goes Ravis doing the Smith chain that we did not see on Wimpy's side.
So what are we thinking? Are we thinking that Smith chain is going to pay out with a collectible item, or will it just be not?
Well, I know if you ask Gamachu, they'll tell you that this doesn't exist. But but yeah, I think you have like all the tools for it this early. I think it's a good play. Go ahead and get it out of the way. You'll have like this area completely done with, and won't have to worry about coming back.
And it also lets you, depending on your routing, it lets you also loop in the tablet as well. But we'll just opt to fly to turn that in instead. That's okay. Oh, right, because still has the fighter sword, so...
yeah, it's still good knowledge to check, but it's... And even though you can run there, it's still just a lot slower. You have Swamp Palace as a crystal, so I think you're just hedging your bets on getting it in when you're doing that.
And that's a fair point. And Ravis is going to go check the Mire area. A couple checks there. And there is the lamp over in Desert.
So that lamp might actually... I don't know if... Hopefully Wimpy checks South Shore before doing that. Or hopefully they should get their mirror before going up the mountain.
And it looked like, was that Ether from Mire Access, which hopefully we won't need, in full disclosure.
Yeah, that's always that's always sad when you see Mire there. Mire's such a long dungeon for only 2 items.
Right, and it looks like it's just 3 bombs over on the desert ledge. And both of our runners actually right now in desert.
Yeah, giving each other a little bit of a high five there as they pass each other.
I still wonder in this day and age of multi-world if you could see the other runners like as ghosts as you're completing the seed as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening someday. You just have like free-for-all battle royale Zelda, like knock them out and like take their hook shot or something. I don't know.
Link to the Past MOBA kind of game.
Yeah, who needs new games when you can just keep playing Link to the Past?
Right. And there's the big key over on the left side, but Ravis also gets that lamp.
Yep.
The good news is we don't need that lamp for Aga logic, so... And, you know, dark rooms are a bit of a pain. We don't have to worry about them for the rest of the seed.
Yeah, I'm sure both of these runners are capable of doing that, but definitely always nice to not have to worry about it for sure. Alright, Wimpy smartly using the lamp there, so they'll have more potential fire rot shots for this fight. Which may come in handy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Lanmo not really cooperating.
Yeah, a couple of short hops and some not so great cycles there from Lanmo, unfortunately. But 1 to go, should be dead in just a second. There it goes. Alright, so just the lamp out of desert, but another crystal down.
Right, and I think that's both of our red crystals as well, so that opens up the Pyramid Fairy as well, so...
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, it always feels nice, especially when you haven't already checked Pyramid to be able to do those together at once.
And don't blink, you'll miss it, because Ravis also takes down Landmolus using Fire Rod a little bit quicker, and that is crystal number 2 now for both of our runners.
I wonder if that's what Wimpy's doing as they're going back into the Dark World here.
I mean, it's yeah. So I guess it does still. It's a new sphere for you. It's in logic. It's I can see it, and especially if it's one of those like kind of go mode kind of seeds.
Yeah, they're probably just going to take this opportunity to get the Pyramid and Catfish checks out of the way, which are just horrible checks in general.
Yeah, and there's Red Potion up in Checkerboard Cave. Ravis will opt against picking that up.
I'd probably pick it up. I like having the safety, but Ravis not worried about that. And that is why I am commentating and just sitting back and enjoying.
That's it. And I am the same way. I am the same way. I would have picked that up as well, but I'm commentating.
Yeah, interesting. Ravis still not opting to go up the mountain, even though they have tons of items and can clear hair at this point. Okay, maybe
this might be.
They're floating up there. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot they had the flute for a second.
and to be able to get that, okay. And Pyramid Fairy gives a fairy, as a bottle refill, so that's pretty handy. But there wasn't a whole lot in there. It was just a couple hearts. And Wimpy's still on green mail as well. The blue mail, I think, was... Oh, where was that? It was...
I actually didn't see him pick up blue mail.
Oh, that's right. Blue mail's in Back of Escape as well, with the mirror.
Oh, okay.
With the important mirror, which would unfortunately make this check right here a lot nicer on Wimpy's side.
All right. So this is quite a play. They're going to go into pod, it looks like. Not having done South Shore and being bowless, this is definitely a gamble, I would say.
And there's our third medallion. There's Quake.
All right, so whatever that Meyer medallion was, doesn't matter.
Right. We can open it. We can do that.
Yep, and that takes care of Turtle Rock 2, so for whatever that is. Alright, and Wimpy does not have a potion, so there's a chance they might just immediately get locked out here. I'm pretty sure the bottle just has a B in it, right?
It was just a B. Okay, we'll be able to continue, though. Meanwhile, Ravis making the first dip into Hera.
Just a key down there.
And that's not necessarily the key you want to see either.
Yeah, and already got an item though, so Hair Pot, honestly, an even better play here, knowing that you have a good chance of getting the second item upstairs.
That's a good point. Meanwhile, Wimpy giving us more access into pod, and there is another key.
Opting to not check the big key chest, though. Interesting. I guess they want to check the back of pod.
Well, that's still curious, but
yeah, I mean, I guess there's a reasonable chance it's a small key, anyways. Or are they doing it now? Okay, they're doing it now.
All right, and meanwhile, Ravis using that hammer against Moldworm. 2 hits down, just 1 to go. And down goes Moldworm.
Nicely done, nicely done.
Ooh, and glad didn't skip that, because that cape could come into handy.
Yeah, that is interesting, and also gives them more of a reason to go back into that area, which could be good as well.
Right. And meanwhile, 26 minutes, about 47 seconds, Ravis does collect crystal number 3 already.
Yeah, and I keep telling myself I'm gonna track all the dungeon items, and I did not see if they got the second item out of desert. So it is either in the basement and they're leaving it, or they.
So the second item in the second item in Hera.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, chat. I failed you. Alright, so Wimpy heading downstairs in the pod here, so right now I only have a cape to show for it. But flippers, okay.
That's a nice find.
If they can somehow like pull a bow out of here, then this will all of a sudden turn into a fantastic play.
We do get the big key, so that's an additional check over here. Afterwards, you got to do a save and quit though, unfortunately.
Yeah, or just do the very long walk. Well, I guess they have no more keys, so they're going to be done after this point.
Or prepare for a death warp.
And I'm not too sure about the pot logic, but those flippers may not be in logic without the bow first.
I think it is in logic though. We haven't broken logic in here yet, rather.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like a scenario where you like use the key on like Harmless Hellway and then you know, start going downstairs to the basement and lock yourself out.
And there's a shovel on Ravis' side, and Wimpy starts out in Sanctuary for the first time. We'll probably go ahead and get the bad news that about the items that have been here, but we'll first check King's Tomb.
Yeah, this will be nice. They'll be able to. I'm assuming they'll probably do King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks, and then hopefully, I'm sure they're. Ooh, nice temper there. I'm sure they're eager to go check out their cape that they just went and got kind of early for too.
Right.
So even though Ravis has a you know, somewhat more efficient route, definitely a sword advantage to Wimpy right now.
So Wimpy started going back towards Bonk Rocks and then realized, wait a second, I haven't checked back of escape yet.
Yeah, I am glad they remembered, because getting their mirror and mail back here is going to be very nice for them.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, Ravis only has Hookshot Cave left before they're going to have to decide what to do after this, I think.
And Ether Medallion's needed to open up Turtle Rock, so we don't need to get that Quake Medallion. Ravis making a good call by seeing Quake, but not picking it up yet, unless it would have been required.
Oh no, where's Wimpy going?
Maybe Swamp Palace?
Oh, this is going to be tragic if they go into Swamp Palace. Oh, this is tragic. I kind of knew where they were going, but I didn't want to like, I didn't want it to be a thing. I was like, where are they going? So yeah, they are full on gamble mode here. First pod gamble. They didn't even check the cape, which I'm pretty surprised at. Which I guess they just saved and quit after going down to the back of the escape, but...
Yeah, but then starting from here, like... And maybe I mean, I know I'm biased towards, hey, we just got this shiny new cape, let's see what it does. Unless it is indeed out of logic, in which case, like, hey, let's not go chasing after that if it's out of logic anyway. The other bloomerang, or the other boomerang, the bloomerang in Swamp Palace so far.
Yeah, this route would have worked out for Wimpy pretty well if they had decided to go check the cape, because they likely would have gotten their hook shot along the way, and then this play would have been fine in that scenario too.
Yeah, and as a reminder to our viewers, the hook shot is in Lost Woods.
Yeah, Wimpy came from the south at the beginning and got Dark World access out of Kakariko and opted to go in there right away. So unfortunately missed out on grabbing that. Okay, but despite what Wimpy's some unfortunate routing, again they still have that sword lead, and the flippers is like a nice item to have where getting it out of Bolus pod doesn't feel great. So Ravis is going to have to try to find some way forward.
And nothing in Uncle's part of escape, but also nothing yet so far over in Swamp quite yet.
Yeah, because at this point you could do Ice Palace out of Logic, which doesn't feel great. But besides that, they cannot clear any of the crystals, so they're gonna go digging around for a while, hoping to find a bow, most likely. A bow or flippers would be good for Ravis.
Right, and the flippers and with the flippers in pod though.
Yeah, right. That's just what Ravis was thinking, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And they're not critical. I guess the flippers aren't critical yet, but they do block, and especially because they do block 2 of your crystals, so they're going to turn up and probably coming up soon.
Yeah. Just getting the tools to be able to full clear one of these crystals, especially pod or swamp, is always feels great. It's just a lot of items, and it's a good way to like kind of give you like your progression, or to just figure out what you're doing as you're going through it. Which I think is like a really like underrated skill that a lot of good players do, is that as they're going through these dungeons, they're constantly thinking of what the best route is going forward. Ooh, so far, Swamp not looking great. Found a compass on the left side.
Yeah, man, just 10 arrows in Zelda Cell. So, opting to skip out on Dark Cross.
If there's a bow right here, this would be interesting.
Right, that would be something. But alas, it is a trackable. Well, it's not even a trackable item, unfortunately. Ravis going up towards Catfish though, and we'll be able to do Catfish into Zora. So
yeah, and this is what I thought Wimpy was going to do, but they didn't have the mirror at the time, so in their mind it was either check Catfish or go into Pod, and they chose Pod.
Now, one of the interesting things is without those, without the flippers, Ravis, and I don't think this is I could be wrong. This might not be a great place for being able to water walk. But Wimpy does get that flute, $50, and it was just 20 rupees on Ravis's side.
Yeah. Okay. So Wimpy most likely going to go activate their flute. They might do Ice Rod Cave into Waterwalk first. No, going back to the Dark World. I should probably stop trying to predict what they're going to do.
But checking Lake Hylia Island, that'll be pretty nice. Although I don't think Wimpy's seen what it is, and I don't think anyone has yet. So we get $20.
More money. All right, so Ravis is about to get their Master Sword, which is nice for them.
Right, especially being at a heart and a half right now. That's a stressful situation. Wimpy will be giving us our first look into the Zora area, though. Having those flippers, they might be out of logic, but or they might or might not be out of logic, but at least it gives you additional checks to make.
I think you're right. I think they probably are, but like they probably are in logic, so this is probably fine for them.
It might not feel good necessarily, but
for sure. But yeah, it's something. Judging by
Ooh.
Ooh, that's nice. Judging by Ravis's rupee count, it looks like they did not do Zora.
But that Kana Samaria over on Zora Ledge, that's going to open some doors right there. Or at least hold down some buttons.
Okay, maybe Ravis is getting a water walk out of Ice Rod Cave and going back to Zora that way. Yeah, they're probably doing it so they can check the waterfall fairy. Okay.
But that's got to be Kane.
Yep, and Wimpy's probably going to go activate their flutes, so hopefully they remember to check the Lost Woods on their way over to Kakariko.
Actually, this and Bonkrock. I guess Bonkrox wasn't really anything though, but Ravis checking out what Hobo has today.
Yeah, I guess we didn't see that from Wimpy's side, did we? Just more money.
At least we're not lacking for money in this game.
Alright, so Rave is starting to run out of places to go in the overworld.
And Wimpy getting the bad news. There's the hook shot.
Yeah. At least they got it before going up the mountain, though, so... You know.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, having gone into Swamp Palace, that definitely feels very bad.
And there's also Bombos on Wimpy's side as well.
Rave is like missed the portal swimming, which always feels terrifying.
Right, especially when you're swimming and you're not supposed to be swimming, the game will, out of mercy, KO you as opposed to soft lock you. So
yeah, I think it might even be like hard lock, right, in the original version.
It might. And Wimpy activating that flute.
Alright, so Rave is coming up here to Zora, gonna go get their cane. So that does give them access to Turtle Rock. Which is always scary to go into without the Ice Rod.
Right.
But that's the bad thing about the Ice Rod is that it is not
Although
anything. Whoa!
Ravis can't because Ravis doesn't have the flippers, so that takes away Water Walk. Okay. And without a bow and cane, yeah, I can't really get that splash deletion, unfortunately.
You're right. I was freaking out for a second. I thought they didn't see it or something. I was like, oh no. Yeah.
But at least he knows, like, hey, I need to get back here once I find the flippers, and fortunately for him, this is the right spot for that.
Yep, making the dip into pod.
Yeah. It might also give us our first look into Eastern first as well. And actually our first look into Sassy's closet while we're at it.
Oh yeah, they didn't have Mirror when he came over here earlier, did they? I suspect that Ravis, once they get the flippers, will probably opt to go to Swamp Palace rather than checking Eastern.
And Wimpy is going back into Swamp Palace in order to clear out the back and finish up the Crystal Dungeon. So, hey, be clearing Crystal Dungeons. So
yeah, and even though I made it seem kind of bad, you know, it's if you were gonna do left side anyways, you know, it's not the biggest time loss in the world to just come back and be able to kind of just go mode swamp like this.
Right, and now that Wimpy has the mirror, things do look nicer. Because you can also still check the tablet. The tablet's right next door.
Yep. They don't have the big key though, so I'm just assuming if it shows up late, they're probably not going to want to go in for a triple dip. They're probably just going to hope that it's anything that's in there.
Ooh, ice rod.
All right, so that's a huge piece of the puzzle down out of the way. So Do we just need Bo at this point?
I think we are in bow mode. Yep. And there's the big key. Really hoping that a bow is not in the big chest at this point, but even when you complete the dungeon, it's not too bad to get back to the big chest.
Right. I'm assuming Wimpy's got to be feeling probably a little behind, if I had to guess, just with the pod. I mean, they did get flippers out of the pod, but the swamp late dip and finding the flute and hookshot so late feels a little bad. So they might opt to just go up the mountain where they haven't been at all yet, rather than try to go back in and gamble on that one chest.
Yeah. All right, Ravis getting that bow as well, and a very nice Argus fight by Wimpy. Just getting that 5 rupees, but that is crystal number 3.
Yeah, and so we'll see if they go back in, or at least they'll probably go over and check Bombo's tablet at the least, I'm guessing. No, they are not. Just opting straight up the mountain. I'm not sure. They might just have not remembered it in this moment, unfortunately.
Ooh, Ravis does get knocked down, so we'll have to retry this room.
Doing Ice Palace first. That's a reasonable call. If you can find your bow in here, then you're gonna have a nice time where you can just go up the mountain and like have Turtle Rock and Hera be your last dungeons.
Right. That would be kind of nice right there. That's a nice situation to be in.
Yeah. So bow and Ice Palace here would be a really nice find for Wimpy.
Yeah. I would have said Ravis has had a slight advantage throughout the majority of this, but kind of depending on this route here, that could give Wimpy a nice advantage.
Yeah, I do think Ravis is going to be on a pretty similar path, though. I'm sure they're going to find their Ice Rod and get Samaria, and so they'll probably just be able to go do Ice Palace and Turtle Rock as well.
Whew, and that was a close. Actually, that was very nice hammer yump, and a very nice icebreaker on both sides.
Yeah, nice show by both there. This the hammer jump not often used in open seeds as much as like something like a key sanity or cross keys where you really need to save a key, but there are cases like this where you come into pod where it can really be a huge benefit to be able to do that bomb jump.
Right.
All right, and they are going straight for their cane, it looks like.
All right. So yeah, with that cane, and the cane is just useful in so many situations, including with some of the fun glitches like that icebreaker that we saw earlier, and actually also Diver Down that Wimpy showed us as well. Okay, I was about to say, is Ravi going to try, or is Ravis trying to talk to Zora again? Pay another $500 for another 20 rupees?
I'm sure Zora would let him. I'm sure they'd be fine with that.
Maybe it was a commemorative red rupee, though. Only one like it.
Swamp excuse me, ice coming up a little dry so far, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's so. I think that was item number 3.
They didn't hit the switch either, so they have to take this long way around. Well, it's not too bad. We only have to get the key. But that room they were in, and like the next room with the fire bar and the skinny path, are like my least favorite rooms in Ice Palace.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I hate that fire bar so much.
And it's a good thing that we have Bombos as well. Just Magic's without that full bar of magic can't really do the. Although not a full bar, but you do also have full health, so you could do sword beams for kind of double damage. But just opting to use Bombos, which I think that's a good call. It saves you shots with your fire rod.
Yeah, and with Tempered Sword, they might not even need it too much, honestly. They did opt to go ahead and use their fire rod shots rather than try to keep them in the corner with the sword. It's going to be a fast fight either way, as we just see.
Right, don't blink, you'll miss it. That is crystal number 4, though, for Wimpy. GG.
Yeah, and so at 48 minutes, are they going to take their first steps onto the mountain?
And actually, first steps on the mountain, and Wimpy will also be able to do Spike Cave in this first go-around, which Ravis wasn't able to do in the first go-around. So that's another potentially interesting check.
Just checking Myers Shed here first, it looks like. Makes sense. If still hoping to most likely find that bow before making their trip up the mountain. And here's my least favorite room of Ice Palace.
At least with the boots, it kind of gives you a place to be able to like stop to start going in another direction. Okay, so yeah. And Wimpy is opting for that red bottle, which does also, if you don't find the bow, it's out of logic, but it could give you pod. Well, no, never mind. In order to just check the 2 chests at the first Bowlock side.
Yeah, that would be a risky gamble, having already did pod at this point.
Right. Well, and with that being locked by bow, the only hope for that to be progression or go mode would be if that was the silver, if the silvers were up there.
Right. And someone in chat pointing out that I think they were talking about Spike Cave, bow being in Spike Cave. That would be a place that Ravis might isolate for a while if it is in there.
All right, and Ravis is having a little bit of a tougher fight. Just this is one of those fights where there is a big difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword, but down goes Cold Stare for the key and crystal number 4.
Yeah, it's probably unlikely that Ravis is going to ever get that sword out of Skullwood, so that is most likely going to be an advantage for Wimpy for the rest of the seed, unless the last sword turns up.
Right, and there's a huge difference between Tempered and Master Sword. Not as much between Tempered and the Golden Sword, the Butter Sword, especially in the Ganon fight, but there's a huge quality of life difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's several minutes. I don't know the exact time save, but it's a huge deal. Alright, Ravis is heading in Swamp. Wimpy, unfortunately, struggling with the bomb jump a little bit. Alright, so we're going to see them just retracing steps that the other one has already done at this point in time. So at the end of this, we're still going to be left wondering where the bow is after all of this.
Right. So actually, as a general question, do we think that we'll find it in a dungeon or in an overworld check we haven't completed yet?
Yeah, that is a potential prediction that one can make. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, Wimpy is going into Turtle Rock, which is where most likely the bow is going to end up being at some point in here. It's easily the highest density check left at this point.
Right. And it is completable as well, which is really important. And welcome to Turtle Rock. Normally it's the last dungeon in Link to the Past, but in Randomizer, it's just our 5th dungeon. That's it.
Yeah, we just come here whenever we feel like it.
Right, and we've had access to it for a while, except for the except for the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, if the ice rod hadn't turned up in Swamp, you would have been left in a difficult choice. Do you go in hoping it's on the way, or do you try and scout the overworld a little more before going in there? But fortunately, they will not have to make this decision this seed, which is always feels nice.
So if Ravis skips left side swamp, that'll actually be in his benefit, because I think it was just a dungeon item and a little bit of money over there.
Yep, it was only one item, although there is still the big chest. So by the time they finish, it looks like they're gonna go ahead and knock out left side swamp. Which, don't blame them. I guess you're only looking for 2 items at this point, and one of them, could save you a double dip into Turtle Rock. So you probably want to be a little more thorough in this case.
Right, and do you really want to be isolating the ice rod?
Yeah. So I think this is a reasonable, especially having just found the map, knowing there's at least going to be 1 item over here. It's a reasonable play to go ahead and knock out left side swamp.
And one of the nice things about coming in after getting the Cane of Samaria is Ravis gets to do Diver Down, was able to do Diver Down there and save a good number of screen transitions.
Yeah, it's always a little nicer than having to worry about doing it with bombs. I'm sure Link appreciates it too, like not having to blow himself up in the face too.
Right. I mean that does terrible things to a person's psyche.
Yeah, do we ever consider Link's feelings when we're doing these glitches, Alright, just a lot of money in these checks so far. So I noticed they both have that shovel. That's also something that has not been checked yet, has it?
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, it's also a bit out of the way for both of them.
Yeah, having already done the stumpy K45 area for both, yeah.
Yeah, so of course that's where we're going to be digging up a bow.
Actually, Wimpy may not have done K45.
I think I think he might be right. I think he might have though, but I can't remember honestly.
Yeah. I just remember they went around towards Hype Cave from their first trip, so I wasn't sure. So Ravis sees their ice rod, and so I'm sure they are already planning their trip up the mountain. It is interesting to see if they go back in, though. I think with now 1 item left for go mode, it's very likely that you just that you don't worry about going back into Swamp for the big chest and just go straight up the mountain.
Yeah. Although that 1 item.
Yeah, it's something that Wimpy skipped too, so that would we might be here for a while if that if the bow is sitting in there. That would be a very rude place for it.
And the bow could be sitting in Eastern. It could be sitting. There's so many. There's still a good number of places for that bow to be. Ravis making good work of Argus though with sword spins.
Yeah, it's definitely a little trickier than it looks. I feel like we kind of jinxed them a little bit, but still overall doing a good job with the fight.
I'll say. And at the end of the day, you lived and
oh my god.
just spam the ice rod. You know, hey, it worked.
Literally just frozen in that corner. I didn't even know you could do that.
And now I have a new strategy when I have enough magic and I've got the ice rod. And it probably works better just from a timing perspective as well, just with the ice rod being a little bit delayed, and then it speeds up, it accelerates. So
I honestly just kind of felt bad for Argus there, you know? He felt like he didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, he did kind of seem frozen up right there.
All right. And Laser Bridge on Wimpy's side.
Ooh.
Down to 4 hearts. Not taking the safety. Although they... Oh! Good pull out right there.
Okay, and there's a key, and yeah, just...
Oh, is the magic gonna run out? Oh, okay.
But
we're fine. Everything's fine.
Well, and Wimpy has a red potion. That's going to be critical here because still down to 4 hearts. Trinex, I mean, probably going to be fine, but Trinex isn't easy.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where you have Tempered Sword, and if you go in here with full hearts, you're not worrying about it. You know, it's a really easy fight with Tempered. You like 9 times out of 10, you'll take no damage. But having the mental thing where you're like at 4 hearts, I feel like that can sometimes on its own lead to you getting hit.
Right.
At least for me. I always get in my head. I'm always like, all right, don't die here. Whatever you do.
Oh, Link to the Past is very psychological. It's you know, it's mental fortitude. Making good work though of the first phase of Trinex fight, and down goes Trinex. So entered with 5 hearts, will leave with 13.
And with still no bow, this is more or less an even race at this point, honestly. Because Wimpy is going to have Hera finished up before Ravis has Turtle Rock finished, I'm sure. But neither of them will know where this bow is, and so it's kind of going to come down to where you go after that.
So actually, going back to my earlier question, Marklar, do you think the bow's in the dungeon, or is it in the overworld somewhere?
Well, I bet on it being in Turtle Rock, and I was already wrong. There aren't even that many overworld checks left, honestly. We have Shovel. Interestingly enough, I don't think anyone checked Bumper Ledge unless I missed that.
I don't think we've seen Bumper Ledge quite yet.
So we've got that. I don't think they did Bombo's tablet either, did they?
So Ravis checked Bombo's tablet. It was just a piece of heart. Or Ether. Check the one over by Desert.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I get my tablets confused.
Yeah, I see chat saying Pendant Eastern, which very, very likely at this point. I mean, as bad as Eastern is, it probably feels better going to Pendant Eastern than it does Pendant Mire.
Right. Ooh, Pendant Mire would be pretty rough as well.
Yeah, all the options at this point are no bueno. And for the person that thought Spike Cave, we'll probably see that at the very end of Wimpy's route after they do Tower of Hera, so that's another option. What are you feeling, Finch?
Whew. So I think we are going to end up picking up the Go Mode bow in the overworld.
Overworld, okay.
I think I've got a sneaky suspicion about that dig spot. I'm not going to limit myself to just the dig spot, and there are fewer overworld checks than there are dungeon checks at this point, but I've got a feeling about overworld. It could even be what Wimpy checks over on the tablet. right over here. Could be. Who's to say? Oh, actually, that was kind of clever by going south just enough. Let's see what we get. And oh, right, never mind. It was the shield. We saw it on Ravis' side, or at least we saw the reading off the thing.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, as much as I thought Ravis had the more efficient routing throughout the seed, I think Wimpy might have a small advantage here. Although they are putting off going to Hera for a little bit in favor of some of these other techs.
So now I'm wondering if I misread Meyer, because Wimpy is going for that Quake Medallion.
Yeah, it's very possible. They have been to Meyer areas. So I don't think they'd pick that up without knowing. So Ravis probably just saw it and was like, if I have to go into Meyer, I'll get it then. So
say in that case, give yourself the option.
That's why I'm saying everyone says where is Bo, but never how is Bo. I think that's a good question we should be asking ourselves.
Yeah, where is Bo? Well, I'll do you one better. Who's Bo?
Oh man.
Why is Bo?
All right, and so, oh yeah, we should probably pay attention to Hera items because we never actually saw if Ravis got both items out of Hera.
Right, we know there's at least one, and there's the key.
Yeah, I think there's bombs in this map chest up here.
That's correct.
Yeah, see, I remember all the useless information. Ooh, interesting bonk setup for the Hera pod here.
I think that's what I really like, honestly, about, and very well done, first try.
Yeah, very nice.
I really do like that about the Hera pot trick, especially. Just there's such a variety of ways to execute it. Okay, so that was item number 2, blue rupees. So
okay, so not. So I'm assuming they'll probably hop down and. Actually, I'm not sure if they finished all of Dark Death Mountain. I'm guessing they did.
That was a nice recovery there by, as well, getting hit by the Buzz Beetle, but staying on the same floor.
Rude little beetle. All right, and down goes Mobile Arm. So there is crystal number. What are we up to now? 6.
That is crystal number 6. Yep.
Yeah, so Wimpy, the first one with 6 crystals, but Rave is like immediately behind. They'll have Trinex finished here in just another minute.
And where is that? Oh, Wimpy is skipping out on Spike Cave as well.
Yeah, that was the best time to ever check in. So they are gambling on Pinned Eastern. It looks like maybe question mark. Oh, they never did Zaha.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that would feel real bad.
I mean, either way, if you find the bow, if the bow's in Eastern, that just doesn't feel good because, you figure someone must have checked Pendant Eastern, right? Right?
There's always the one person who's like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to make this play.
And I guess the other thing to keep in mind, we are only an hour 6 minutes into the seed.
Ooh, they did not go into Eastern. I think they're maybe checking Bumper Ledge, maybe getting the green pendant from Skullwoods.
So it does look like Ravis is going to be checking Spike Cave here.
Yeah, this is the only thing they have left on the mountain, so I figured they might want to go here. But I've been wrong in almost everything I try to predict. I didn't want to say it.
So if this is the bow, then that is a pretty decisive advantage here.
Yeah, it's something that Wimpy will not come back to for a long time. But just bombs.
Just bombs. We are still on a hunt.
And where does Ravis feel like going? Where is Ravis's gut telling them to go?
Yeah, I guess Wimpy still has another item, and Skull Woods is also the green pendant, which might be also why Wimpy opted to go here. Be able to turn in the green pendant.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we saw a second item besides the sword, so this might be a good 2-item play for them.
Yeah. Now Ravis will probably be checking Skull Woods now, or just turn the other way.
Smith Chain most likely. I don't think they. No, they did that. They did that.
Yeah. This will be the bumper ledge play, though. So we got Spike Cave. We're going to check bumper ledge.
Yeah, bumper ledge into Skull Woods, maybe. Oh, not there.
And I don't remember what we saw on. Actually, we never saw clearly what was on Lumberjack Ledge, but it seems like it wasn't a bow at least.
Yeah. We would have seen them rush down that bow a while ago before going into pod, I'm sure.
Right. Wimpy does pick up that green pendant though, so.
Ooh, are we doing Meyer? So we're finally gonna find out what this is. Oh, it's Bombos.
Oh, it's Bombos. Okay, so it was. Okay, so it was Bombos. Either way, it was something that both of our runners do have. If it was Quake, that would have been rough.
Yeah, so Wimpy either mismarked it or forgot to mark it and probably just wanted to be safe, picking up that Quake. Alright, but yeah, Ravis is going into Meyer, which is probably the one that nobody wants to do, so they opted to do it.
But it is nice doing this with sword beams, just to because everything in here will deal a good amount of damage, but they'll go down in one hit.
Right. And I mean, sometimes you can get lucky and find the items in Meyer pretty quick, but Meyer really has a way with just being as annoying as possible.
Right, when you're not in co mode, when you're looking for the ice rod, and you do get a God Meyer of the big key being.
Yeah, go ahead and get your big key out of the chest. Go ahead. See?
As we were saying.
It knows sometimes.
All right, we might get a better look on Wimpy's side for Lumberjack Ledge. Okay, 20 rupees. Aga is officially dead. Aga's dead.
They're very much alive and just going to be chilling up in that tower all day. Alright, so Wimpy, where are you going? Maybe over to Catfish. I don't think they ever did Catfish.
I think you're right. Because I think Ravis checked Catfish. Or here's Graveyard Ledge, which wasn't anything of note.
Yeah, we saw this on Ravis' side, I'm pretty sure. And I haven't been paying attention. So Ravis has 2 keys, so I don't think they found anything yet.
That's correct. No items yet in Meyer.
Interesting that they're checking this instead of lumping it in with the big key chests. I guess it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, 6 one way, half a dozen another. It does always feel bad when... Okay, actually, Powder's nice safety, and there's Magic Bat as well.
Yep. It feels good to have. It doesn't feel good to find in this scenario, but, it does give you a new check.
We'll be isolating the cutscene chest, though.
Yeah, that's That's like a sign more than anything else when you opt to go kill Vitreous instead of doing the cutscene chest.
And we haven't seen the green pendant turn in yet on Wimpy side, have we?
Yeah, that's kind of surprising me. I mean, especially with flutes. I think you, having committed to doing Skullwoods first, I think you got to check that right away. But I think they may not have done Smith Chain, so they might be opting for that now.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but we might get the shovel check while we're doing this.
Oh, that's a good point because yeah, the shovels. Neither runners have checked shovel yet. There are just so many isolated checks. For being such a quick seed at first, and for folks who are just joining us, the seed started out really quickly, and then it slowed down just so much.
Yeah, I mean, granted, we're still only at an hour and 13 minutes. You know, this is still shaping up to finish on a pretty reasonable time. But definitely being a very rude bow so far, unfortunately.
Right. Ravis making good work of the mini Vidi eyeballs, which is
nice. Didn't even bother with the cape for that. But having to do the very annoying hammer Vitreous to death.
Right. And for Vitreous, Vitreous does a lot of damage here.
And unfortunately, with Red Mail, not as much of a concern.
And down goes, and there's 113.44. Ravis is in go mode.
Oh man. Okay, so Ravis honestly probably feels like a genius right now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a location.
Yep. So, I mean, maybe we'll see something crazy. You know, there's still one more bow, so it could still be in shovel spot.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is not a finished race by any means.
Come on, Bo. Come on. Oh, it would have been such a tight race if Bo was right there. Which, once again, Wimpy still has the sword advantage. So if that last one does not turn up, you know, that's still going to be a couple of minutes buffer for Wimpy here.
And keep in mind, there is also green pendant as well.
Yeah.
So there's still, and that's a pretty relatively quick check at least.
Okay, so but yeah, bow on pendant Vitreous. What a rude bow.
And actually, this route will allow Wimpy to be able to do the tablet check here and then immediately flute somewhere else. So,
yeah, I mean, I wonder if in the back of their mind if they're thinking about the big chest in the swamp right now too.
Oof, yeah.
All right, will Ravis check any of these for silvers, or is he just going straight back? Still, yeah, I think you still have silvers and a tempered sword out there. I think it makes sense to check those chests on the way.
Yeah, and half magic would be nice as well. Yeah. Nice thing is you are at 16 hearts, so and Wimpy is making the right call by going into Mire.
Oh, this is good for Wimpy. So they will. We may not find where that other bow is. It's most likely in GT at this point, but you know this will put Wimpy on the right path.
Yep, GT or Eastern.
Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly how far behind Wimpy is, but it's nothing that GT route and this Tempered Sword can potentially make up, so it's not over for sure.
Right. Now, Wimpy will probably do the same number of checks, probably still skipping cutscene. We know that the Go Mode item is in Vidi. Wimpy doesn't know that, though. But this is going to be the the Godmire key, at least, where the big key is right here.
Yeah, imagine they just go and kill the trees right away. That'd be crazy.
Just hover across that ledge right there, and there you go.
All right, Raid is on the Helma fight. Just tanking away at that mask. There we go.
I think it's 8 sword slashes. And down goes King Helmasaur as crystal number 7. And that means we're going to be able to play a little game here. Which chest do we think the GT Big Key will be in? Folks in chat, please put in a number between 1 and 22. 1 or 2 being early on, 22 likely being the tower room. Check. Likely. You might go do tower room first. I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, it's a play I I don't think I've ever seen anyone make, but the day it happens is going to be quite a scene.
And I want to say I remember hearing someone during the tournament do it because they felt very behind, and that was where the big key was.
Oh my goodness.
See, that's the dream right there, where you do tower room first, and it's still a 1 in 22 shot.
Yeah, right. It's just as good as any other check. Might as well.
Yep. Aside from it takes a full minute to be able to actually do, but who's counting?
Yeah, unfortunately for Wimpy, they are going to do well. Actually, I guess they hadn't been to this side yet. I thought they were going to do the cutscene chest.
So actually, Marklar, which chest do you think will find the GT Big Key?
I'm going to go with 9.
All right. I'm going to go with 16.
Yeah. I'm thinking Stealth's room. I'm assuming I guess they're going to go full right first.
I actually don't know if Ravis is usually let's go to the let's do like a dark magician strategy or kind of which way to go there.
Yeah, that's usually my favorite one, just because I feel like I'm the least likely to lose a ton of time. It always feels bad if you full clear left side and you could have just gone to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, getting the bad news. Oh no, they mirrored.
Ooh. Oh no.
Oh man, did not want to commit to Vitreous after doing the cutscene chest.
All right, and item number 1 is that small key, and goodbye, Bob.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's probably going to be it for Wimpy, unless someone in chat earlier said both Bose and Meyer, one at Powder and one at Viddy, and they got half of it right. So let's see if they are like truly a wizard.
All right, 2 is just money, 3 is a small key, 4 is a small key. 5 is tempered, so there's that sword advantage gone.
Yep. And pretty much, unless this is a bow, it's looking almost curtains for. Oh. All right, who said it? Who said it in chat?
And 6 also for the big key on Ravis' side. So Ravis is climbing the mountain climbing the tower with 3 keys. Well, there we go. I was half right. With the powder that was in Meyer. So either way, Meyer was required.
Wow. What is he? Yeah, I guess Mushroom could have turned up somewhere, but logically, yes. You had to go to Meyer. Alright, Uniform Pleb. That's who it was. What on earth, Uniform Pleb?
Also, a fugitive from reality. Congrats on your number 6 guess.
Oh, was it in Firebar Ring?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I was scrolling through. I needed to find out who called the bow on Magic Bat and Biddy, because that's just unreal. All right, but yeah, getting back, Ravis on their tower climb right now. Ooh, trying to. I'm liking seeing these fire rod strats. It's interesting.
Yeah, especially for going through with speed. I mean, this is already a pretty tricky room, and it's interesting though because this won't give you magic for the landmo fight.
Yeah, with tempered, it's a little better, but definitely it's still going to be slower. It's not going to feel as good as if you had the magic for this.
But intentionally timing
what is that strut?
so close. But that was a good idea because when you're hanging out in that room, that times all the landmos to come out all at once, and that was so close.
Yeah, if you didn't know, the timing for the landmail is influenced by how much time you spend in that previous room, and so. You know, if you've ever noticed, like, if you take the time to powder that, you know, little spinning transformation thing, then you usually get the land mode cycle like that where they all pop out at the same time. And so, yeah, that was really interesting block strats there to try and stay in place with the spin. Ravis, I'm so sorry for doubting you.
Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
They have the magic, they'll be okay, yeah.
Yeah, and get your magic refill without getting touched by those beams, though, because, well, I guess they'll only do 1 heart of damage now.
Yeah, got hit twice just for good measure.
Yeah. And the good news is, does have powder, so coming up.
With powder and tempered, I'm assuming Ravis is feeling nice and comfy right now, going into this last little bit.
Yeah. Now, does have to be a little bit careful right there, but Wimpy on the Kinkomasaur. And there's a red potion, so there's even a little bit more safety.
Yeah, always feels nice when you get something out of those last few checks.
You know,
you just give us silvers out of validation. You know.
I mean, this.
Oh wait, no, I'm done. We already know where both those are.
Oh yeah. But we are gonna get that piece of heart. Oh, so close to a heart refill. Which, I mean, that wouldn't have really done anything here, but that is crystal number 7 though on Wimpy's side. So Wimpy will be climbing Gana's tower just in a couple minutes.
Yeah, probably, unless something tragic happens, going to finish behind Ravis, but I'm not sure as far as overall race how it's going, so they might still be in a good spot having done Meyer before Eastern.
Yeah, that would have been the, you know, I would have checked Eastern, and I would have been wrong.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that many runners would go into Meyer earlier than what these runners did. You know, it feels really bad to do a 2-item pendant Meyer looking for a bow. Right.
Meanwhile, don't blink, you'll miss it. Agatu is down. I think that was only 2 or I think that was just a 3 cycle.
Yeah, very nice fight by Ravis. Like I said, I blinked and I missed it.
And the shocking truth, spoilers, Aganen was Ganon this entire time.
Alright. On to the Ganon fight.
We're
singing some police right now, I think.
I think so. And we're on phase 1.
Yep, nice 1 cycle there. Friendly spot for the 1-in-1.
And this is where having that tempered sword, finding that tempered sword, is such a huge advantage. Wimpy will be finding the golden sword, but that's not going to be nearly enough to catch up.
Yeah, not only are you like doubling the hits, but every hit has to be a spin, and it's just horrible.
Right. And yep, there's a light world. Does get that torch glitch. Well done by swapping at the last second to the fire rod.
Yeah, that's someone who's very confident in their fire rod setups, I think.
Yep, may have done that once or twice.
Without half magic, I would not be. I would not want to risk not using the lamp in this scenario, but
yeah, because even spamming the lamp is not nearly as much magic as a fire rod shot. Ooh.
Yeah, missed one, but should still be fine.
Yeah, it's getting a little closer for comfort, though.
Yeah, they've probably only got about like 3. Oh, that's terrible. I think they actually got a slash there.
I think so as well. So
it doesn't help, but okay, and there we go.
Get your GGs in chat. All Ravis has to do is cross the most dangerous bridge in Hyrule, and then Ravis will finish. There's that golden sword on Wimpy's side.
Yep, GG's to Ravis.
And Ravis finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, 55 seconds for first place on Restream and third place overall. We had Willer J. Bradley finish in 119 even, then Mean DM at 122.14. For about 5 minutes later was Ravis, and actually right afterwards we had Scruple finish at 128.43. GG, Ravis.
Yeah, and congrats to Willard J. Bradley on, I guess, just reading the seed very well. 117 is a great time for the seed. But yeah, third place out of, what'd you say was like 33 or something like that?
Out of 33, yeah. That was a heck of a seed right there.
Yeah, start off looking great, and then oof. So hopefully we can get Ravis in here to tell us their feelings about it in a little bit. As we have Wimpy doing their climb over here.
Yep. And it's also interesting, it was just very even. It was very even. Just for the hunt for that bow. And we are joined in the booth by Ravis. GG.
GG's.
Yeah, so how did you feel about, well, I guess to start out with, how did you feel about the start? And then that go mode bow?
I mean, that was pretty stacked. And yeah, that bow was interesting.
Do you have a guess on where the second bow might have been?
Oh, there was a second bow? Don't tell me it's one big chest.
It was not. It was not.
Yeah. Funnily enough, it was Magic Bat.
Both bows in my... Oh,
it was gross.
Oh, man. I thought, dude, that was the big play.
Well, yeah, because Wimpy only dipped part of Meyer, didn't go face Vitreous, but did grab that powder, went to the Magic Bat, and there was that bow.
Damn. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Having that bow first time in play would probably be very helpful, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, when you went in there, I was honestly thinking that you might have been, one of the first, because, checking Pen and Meyer just has to feel like one of the worst scenarios.
Yeah, that's why I chose Pen and Meyer in the first place. I mean...
Yeah, I was wondering, did you choose it just on hoping that no one else would, that it would give you that advantage?
Not no one else, but I had only all the penance left. So I had to choose between the sickness I take and... I could have done Eastern after Port, I could have gone Skywoods earlier, so I don't know, Myers sounded like a good daily decision, I'd say.
Yeah, skipping Eastern was nice, and it's hard to imagine that anyone would not have double dipped Pod in the seed. I thought your route ended up being, I thought it fed into itself really well, especially like once you found flippers. I could tell it seemed like you were looking for that bow before you went up the mountain, which would have made your route really nice.
Yeah, but I mean, it worked out in the end. It was a decent pull clear. I was scared of King's Tomb the longest time, since I have not checked that for a while. Then was Master Sword, which is okay. But, I mean, we got nice mail upgrade early on, right? We got enough hearts. Only thing I was actually scared was in pod. I forgot to buy a potion. So that I was kind of scared that I'm bow locked maybe, and I just did the trip for basically nothing, which would have been okay to land, but whatever.
Yeah, I've had that seed where you find the bow locked, and
Yeah.
but fortunately it was nothing. And Wimpy was also in the same situation where they went in with only a B in the bottle and had to do the same thing more or less.
Yep.
And at least getting the flippers out, at least getting a required. It's kind of rough when it's a required double dip, but it is what it is.
Was it actually double? I mean, you could have gone Meyer, I guess, before pot.
Yeah, you
Right?
could have.
Fair. you
would
could.
have been a crazy person, but in this seed you would have been a genius. You know?
Fair enough.
It's a very thin line between the two.
Yeah, in these big races, you can see people doing that. I mean, I've done these crazy shenanigans as well, and god damn it, that worked out like, I think, once in 20 times or so.
Yeah,
So-
I think these bigger races do that to people because with so many people, you feel like you have to make a play like that to try and get an edge over everyone.
Yeah, specifically if you want to win such a race, like, you have to basically, not god rod, but almost find the items in the right order and, you know, make your right choices to where not to check, basically.
Yeah, maybe the only good time is if you did desert like last before going up the mountain, and you know, in a desperation, you thought maybe I'll go ahead and check Meyer just to see if I can get an item out of it real quick. But
Yep.
I mean, even with like, you know, Magic Bat and Vitreous, neither of those are particularly fast checks. So you know, I was surprised to hear that you know, that Willard had finished, I think about 10 minutes earlier, but. You know, certainly like third place, still like a really good time and a really good place overall for the seed.
I can see actually that Willard went into Meyer before the pot, because he might have thought maybe that's bow locked and, you know, getting maybe one or two items out of Meyer and then having the bow, which would have been true. I don't know, but I can see that definitely happening here.
Yeah, and if you don't do that, you also don't have flippers at that point anyway. So you might be thinking I can find either the bow or the flipper. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I thought that your route, you know, I think that you played it really well. Did you ever consider going into the Dark World early on after CAC? Do you like doing that kind of play?
Yes and no, but honestly, South Shores, you can't really make it faster than just going there, right? Even if you combine it with Hype Cave. So I like to do that earlier, and it paid out with the flute, so I could at least activate the flute immediately.
Yeah, I thought that benefited you really well. Wimpy at the start, they actually went, they started going south through Kakariko, and because they got Dark World access, they went into Dark World and didn't find the hook shot for quite a while, nor the flute. And I thought it gave you a pretty nice advantage, but by the time, you know, each of you had 6 crystals, it was even up.
Yeah, I mean, these items were in a position where you eventually will get, right?
Yeah.
So
And as Wimpy finishes their fight.
Yeah. Get your GGs in chat as Worldwide Wimpy is about to cross the most dangerous bridge in Hyrule.
As someone was saying in chat, a very not OSHA-approved bridge. No handrails.
Right. All right. And with that, Worldwide Wimpy does finish with an official time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, 6 seconds for second place on our restream and 10th place overall. Vortex of Doom finished in 5th, Matt 7898 in 6th, then Shire, Katie Rikawa, Dapper Wormman, and then Worldwide Wimpy. So, GG to both of our runners.
Yeah, definitely. And I do see Willard in chat as well. talking a little bit about what they did.
And we are joined by Worldwide Wimpy. GG.
GG's to everyone who played Meyer early. Both bows linked to Meyer. Great. That's fantastic.
Oh, so you already knew about the second bow, huh?
Yeah, I saw it on when Ganon gives a hand. He goes, "Oh, the other bow was in misery." I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm doing the math in my head. Okay, well, I skipped out doing Vitreous, so technically Powder was faster for me to do to get the second bow. Okay.
yeah, no, like when you mirrored out, we were out in here like, oh no, oh man, we were all sad for you, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh hey, never mind, we're good.
There weren't many places that bow could be, and there was so much loaded in the front of Sphere 1 in this seed that I'm like, there's nothing else in Sphere 1. There can't be. As soon as I found that flute in Mini Moldorm, I'm like, I'm not checking any more Sphere 1 unless it's in my path. That's it. I'm not doing any more. So...
Yeah, you had a very interesting route throughout. I think yours was definitely a little more here and there, with you not finding Hookshot for a while, and didn't get to Mini Moldorm until 38 minutes, I think, right around there. So how were you feeling for most of the seed?
Well, my seed started off poorly because I normally start at Sanctuary, so I would have had that Hookshot super early. But since I'm like, well, I started at my house, I could check that. I could just go over, check library. Oh, there's Hammer. Oh, there's the glove. Oh, great, there's Moon Pearl in Kakariko. Well, I guess I'm going to Dark World. And just put off. And
yeah,
so I was just like...
It's hard when you get put on the spot like that, where you have to make that decision split second.
We were joking about a 5-minute Skullwoods play as well, because Fire Rod also...
I was joking, I was like, well, he can go do Skullwoods if he really wants to, and you started heading that way, and I was like, Wimpy, what are you doing?
I was gonna go do Skullwoods, and then that full pot didn't spawn underneath the skull, and I'm like... Okay, fine.
Yeah, but I mean, despite not finding that, you did have the sword advantage for a while, and overall, with it coming down to the bow mode, I think, you actually got the 6th crystal first, but then, just pick and choose, and Ravis went into Meyer before you did, but...
Well, yeah, and that was the thing, it's like, well, I have the mountain, or I have Pendant Meyer, I have finishing out Skullwoods, turning in Green Pendant, I have North Dark World, and Smith Chain, there's so much up the mountain, and this seed was so kind of like, there's 2 bows in the pool, there has to be something up that mountain, and there was nothing up that mountain, so that just kind of went...
Yeah. I really thought I was going to be in Turtle Rock too. I could tell it seemed like you were really trying to find your bow, because you hadn't been up the mountain at all, like nearly an hour in. But you were in a really good position where if you found the bow, then you could have like knocked out Hera and Turtle Rock in your first trip up the mountain. Is that what you were thinking?
Oh yeah, that's absolutely what I was thinking. I'm like, well, this seed has been so front loaded. If I find one of the 2 bows here, just in Overworld, I'm in go mode, I'll go knock out Pod, then I can just go TR and just zoom right through my Hera pot and Hera and just be done. And the C would have been 113, 114. But both bows being in Meyer, freaking great. Here you go. And
yeah.
I skipped looking at the Meyer medallion because I'm like, if I find the 3rd medallion, I'm just gonna end up coming here if I don't find the bow. So I didn't even bother looking at it. I'm like, if the bow's in there, this seat stinks.
Oh yeah, just out of curiosity, what happened when you went to get Quake? Did you have Meyer mismarked, or did you just forget to check it?
Didn't bother to look at it.
I gotcha.
Because I'm like, I'll check Meyer area first, because if bow's in Meyer Shed or Checkerboard, I'm done. I get to go. And I was like, well, I have 2 out of the 3 medallions. If it is one of the medallions I have, that's fine. If I happen to find the other medallion and it's that medallion, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, bow's in here, everyone has to go get that medallion anyway. So really, it was just more like, I didn't want to waste a half second to go ahead and grab it. In the end,
Right.
The bow being locked in there anyway really didn't change my route. If I knew what medallion it was, it would have just saved me, what, 20 seconds maybe?
Yeah.
No big deal.
Mhm.
And you had the right instinct. Just in case I have to go in the mire. Yes, you did.
So, otherwise, other than that, this seed was super full up in the front. I was so weird. I'm like, this is weird. This is a very weird route for what I normally do. But when it paid off for Hammer on Library and I had Dark World access right there, I'm like, well, I don't have to walk through Kakariko again. I could just go. So let's just go.
Yeah, early on, I really thought that Ravis had like a very efficient and like very logical route, and you know, hearing that you were outside of your comfort zone in terms of what you normally do, you did a really good job, you know, piecing together an excellent route. Like I said, you got the 6th crystal first, and you know that bow really could have been in any of the checks. Could have been in Spike Cave. It could have been in so many other places, and so you know at that point, it came down to truly just the randomizer. Do you get lucky and check the right spot? So,
Yeah, and that was kind of my thinking. I'm like, it has to be up the mountain. It has to be in Paradox Cave or it's in TR. There's no other place one of these bows could be, and it's Vitreous and Powder locked in the big chest in Mire. Just the worst bow placement next to I've ever seen. Probably that's terrible. Both bows locked in a pendant Mire. One on the boss, one on a fetch quest. That's just poop. That's poop.
yeah, but someone in chat actually called it out, and so if you ever need help, you know, just ask Uniform Pleb where to go check for those bows, because somehow or another.
If I didn't have all of the mountain, I probably would have seen what Mire was and dipped it, but at that point, I'm like, I have all of the mountain to see. Literally all of the mountain. And at that point, everything else in Overworld, even if I included Green Pendant and Mire and the item on Mothula, it's like, there's like 12 checks left for me to make in Overworld. There's 20-something up the mountain. Let me go do that.
Well, yeah, I guess with all of the like Cross Keys tournament we have going on, and like the hybrid major glitches, which is nearing the end, you know, hopefully it was nice to just have like a nice open boot seed to kind of run through real quick.
I normally just play boots or open on the ladder. I like playing that. Willer tagged me back because I ended up god seeding a route against him on the ladder, and he got everybody on this seed. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Any final thoughts on the seed or anything that you wanted to comment on that I forgot to touch on?
The biggest thing is that I ignored a lot of that Sphere 1. If you get like 7 progressive items in Sphere 1, skip it. That's what I'm telling everybody who I've been mentoring in the mentor tournament as well. If you get a lot of items early in Sphere 1, you can skip a lot of Sphere 1 because you gotta remember there's gonna be stuff locked behind other items.
You might end up skipping the Ice Rod anyway, because that Ice Rod turns out to be, you know, it's Ice Rod. It likes to be wherever it wants to be. But yeah, I agree in general.
It's just fortunate this time, at least it was on the route. You both did the left side swamp, which unfortunately was a bust, but Ice Rod was at least along your way, kind of to the back.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that your Gravis. I like that your first guess when I asked you about the other bow was like the big chest and swamp too, because you both left it, and I was wondering if that was in the back of your mind somewhere.
When Willa finished, I thought, oh no, the other bow's probably in swamp, but no, that's fine.
No, that was going to be a dead stone cold last location for me.
Oh yeah, especially since
way.
you had gone in there earlier too.
Well, yeah, I dipped it early going, okay, well, if hookshot's here, if a bow is here on left side, if flute is here left side, all of a sudden the seed breaks wide open. And I can do so much more going forward, and just ended up not being left side swamp. Because I've had biases of recent history, and I have had both flute and red cane on left side swamp as a go mode set in the last week. So I'm like, okay, I guess swamp is paying out in the last 7 days, and it did with Ice Rod, but
I've also been having a lot of seeds where swamp was rudely the answer, so I'm with you on that bias.
Well, I was thinking more swamp because once I found those slippers in pot, I'm like, okay, well, with mirror, hammer, flips, I can go do swamp real quick in a dip. If hookshot's there, I'm golden, and then I can go over to mini Moldorm. I can knock out some other stuff that I haven't done in Sphere 1. And
Yeah. I thought that was probably your most interesting play to me, was that you chose to do pod before going and checking like South Shore and mini Moldorm. I guess it goes back to what you said about you had just found so many Sphere 1 items that you were hedging your bets on and not having as much, right?
Yeah, and really the only other Sphere 1 that I didn't find within, I got the hookshot, 25, maybe 30 minutes in after doing a lot of Darkwold stuff was the flute. And the flute, yeah, it opened up the mountain, but I love playing the mountain as late as I need to until it's like, okay, you literally have checked everything that's kind of grouped up in your route, everything that's kind of a really quick thing to get done, mire area, things like that. Go up your mountain, because now you have all of your density. You have your 2 clearable crystals that you could do. There has to be a bow up there. There's just no bow.
All right, I guess we might go ahead and wrap it up then. If that's, I think we've talked the seed out. I think, like I said, you both played very well. Again, congrats, Ravis, finishing first on the restream and third overall. But certainly Wimpy could have gone either way with that bow hunt, and I thought you played really well as well too.
Yeah, if that bow was anywhere in front of me, you'd knock off 10 plus minutes or something like that. So.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thanks for chat, for hanging out here, and obviously Tracker, the next girl. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah. And please give both of these runners a follow. Both very good runners. I think I got smoked by Ravis in a daily race not too long ago. And Jinxie, shout outs for you for tracking, keeping us honest, doing all the work behind the scenes. Thank you so much.
All right, and thank you, Ravis. Thank you, Worldwide Wimpy, for agreeing to be restreamed. I know that's always it's always kind of fun to be you're kind of in the you're kind of having to race in front of everyone. We really appreciate it. Jinxie Girl, again, thank you so much for tracking. Marklar, it's been a pleasure co-comming with you.
Likewise. It was nice to be able to commentate one with you, Finch.
Yeah. So let's see. So we've got a Super Metroid. So we actually have a SMZ3 tournament going on right now, a co-op. We have a new Super Mario Brothers tournament coming up at 11 on the Speed Gaming 4 channel, I believe. So we have a lot of speed gaming action still to come. But I think that's it for us. Marklar, would you like the final remarks?
Yeah. So again, good games to everyone, especially Willard for taking first place. And if you want more Link to the Past randomizer, I think the Hybrid Major Glitches is entering its semifinals pretty soon, and the Cross Keys tournament is getting into the later stages of its Swiss round. So definitely got some great races still going on. If you want some more Link to the Past randomizer. And there's also a weekly race on Sunday for anyone to join. I believe it's an open one Sunday at like 5:30, something like that Eastern time. So feel free to either join that or hop back in here if you want to see it.
Yep. So from all of us, have a great evening, everyone, and take it easy. See you again in Hyrule.